main problem is that the federal government isn't doing its job. Obviously, climate change is an international or a national problem. An atom of carbon dioxide, a molecule of carbon dioxide, doesn't matter which state it's emitted from. We should be part of Kyoto. We should be working with other countries. California and a whole lot of other states, perhaps states in which half of Americans live, want to go out on their own and regulate tailpipe emissions. Since the Clean Air Act of the 60s, California has had the right to establish its own emission standards, and other states can then either use the federal standard or choose the higher California standard. California therefore has the right to establish emission standards that deal not only with nitrous oxides and carbon monoxide, but also carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. California used that power. The EPA, for the first time, would not sanction it. 52 prior times, the federal government allowed California to set its own standard. Only under Bush did they say no. And so now I've joined with a congressman from Vermont in introducing legislation to overturn that political decision and to allow California, and it would also be quite a number of other states, including Vermont, to do that higher standard. Part of it is kind of a states' rights thing, but it's much more an environmental issue. I think it's got a good chance of passing the House of Representatives. The Senate is problematic, and of course the President's signature is not going to be there. On the other hand, we'll have a new President come January, so if we can get the bill through both houses, even if it gets vetoed, we can then ask people to vote for it again in January, February of next year. The problem in the Senate is, as you know, the filibuster. They have lived with a rule that any one senator can talk forever, and it takes 60 senators to get him or her to shut up. What that really means is 41 senators can sanction this filibuster, and they can tie up the Senate. And this is kind of lost on the public today. There was a great old movie about this, Jimmy Stewart, where he actually goes and speaks and filibusters, and people are sleeping on cots. And you really got the image that one guy, in this case the hero, was holding up the whole Senate. Now it's the villains holding up the Senate rather than the heroes. But they've gone to what they call a virtual filibuster. One person will say, I will filibuster if you bring that bill up, and I've got 40 friends who will back me up on that, and the Senate leadership realizes that and simply refuses to bring up the bill. That, to those of us in the Capitol, we see 41 senators are blocking a good bill. But the public, if anything, they see, well, the Democrats supposedly have a majority in the Senate. Why aren't they passing good bills? And it is because you do have 41 people blocking. And invariably, these are Republicans. Not that I'd want to get partisan.